You know what I keep thinking about night after night while I sit over there on that platform?
How you're gonna get them my pants?
Sometimes a movie comes along that really begs the question, is it any good? Technically, The Gorge isn't, but I can say that I regret watching it. Released directly at Apple TV+, you don't exactly go in with the highest expectations, and while it isn't all that good, it doesn't really feel half-assed either. Anya Taylor-Joy and Miles Teller play two elite snipers on opposite sides of a mysterious gorge, and are given commands to guard it without knowing what's inside. You kind of already know almost the entire movie. There's no plot twist, nothing to make you remotely say, I didn't see that coming, and for a 2-hour-long movie that puts a lot of time into exposition, that's an issue. It's like it doesn't realize how generic it is, how predictable the twist is, but at the same time, it's undeniably entertaining. In some cases that would save it, it's fun to watch, that's a big deal. But long scenes of exposition, a build-up to a plot twist that isn't there, and simply trying to act intelligent when it isn't, the result is just having fun with it not really flying, because the movie clearly wants to be more than that. Then when things get serious, it really wants your attention. Suffice to say, it kind of got mine, but it still doesn't make it good. Confused? You won't be, after my analysis of The Gorge. Ah yes, the classic opening. Basic everyday task to serious business. So we have our setup introducing the two leads, Levi Kane and Drassa, the former suffering from PTSD-induced nightmares, and the latter having a terminally ill father. In Levi's case, the problems began immediately.
So do you presently have a girlfriend? Anyone special? Someone who couldn't live without you?
Yes, we have Sigourney Weaver in this who gives him his mission, but we can already see where it's going. I'm sure there is no reason to show her asking that question, but luckily Drassa is given a more genuine scene, as she feels guilty about the man she killed.
He had 4 children.
Give it to me. Give me your shame.
This is already a really good scene, the way he justifies it given the man that was, the concept of giving him her shame, but most notably due to his illness, makes the decision to end his life on Valentine's Day. This could have been the whole, how could you do a cowardly thing like that? Which would have been really stupid given she's not going to see him again anyway, but instead she accepts it, leading to a sad moment when that day comes. It's not that sad, he's only in one scene, but it does feel deserved.
Wherever you are, you light a candle for me, you look at the hunter in the night sky, then you'll know.
That being said, upon Levi relieving his predecessor, JD,
But that is just the tippity top of the iceberg.
no, the exposition goes off the rails. Cloaking antennas, monstrous creatures inside the gorge, an emergency unknown protocol, and of course the soldiers who went into the gorge in the 1940s and never came out. We literally don't need any of this info right now, just the objective, and being told no communication with the other sniper. Some of it would have been okay, but to basically tell us everything in this one drawn-out scene, it doesn't really get you invested. Especially when JD's executed immediately after. I do like how they shoot him first, makes less noise that way, but I just get the strong feeling something isn't as it seems. In other words, would he have been missed? So after a bit of time, or a lot of time, spent showing us how the job works, would have been better without the exposition, but given it does affect a lot of the movie, I definitely don't mind that. I wouldn't call any of these concepts new, and speaking of course she looks back right at that moment, as if she can see him too. Maybe somebody should have considered that 2 attractive individuals plus a year of loneliness might not be the best idea. Eventually on her birthday, she communicates via handwritten notes. Levi does say it violates protocol but soon gets over it. And we then move into what is easily the best part of the movie. I mean, the monsters deemed the Hollow Men do attempt to climb the walls, giving us our first look at them. There'll be more memorable monster designs later. The scene is fine, I suppose you don't see it coming, but the way they proceed to communicate is surprisingly enjoyable. I don't know if it's a bad thing that it's the best the movie has to offer, but the way they go about it is genuine. Playing chess, celebrating Christmas, and eventually her father's death is essentially emotional character building without speaking. I can't argue it's effective, the only problem is Drassa is objectively more fascinating. Being the first one to communicate, she has a fun, vibrant personality, while Levi is, there. he's fine, but to say he has a memorable trait would be a stretch. When the movie is held up by two leads, that's an issue. You get the sense that Taylor-Joy is doing her best to save it, but this would be like if in Furiosa, the guy whose name I don't care to look up was in the whole movie. Given the role he played, it's fine, but not somebody you want to see in the cover. So nearing the halfway point, it's time for the predictable outcome of devising a plan to zipline across the gorge because progression. I understand loneliness, but you've seen the monsters, you have a very basic job, and I believe leaving your post is beyond a violation. You could just exchange phone numbers, living locations, meet up 6 months later, that's a possibility too, but I gotta say I do like how they act upon first meeting in person.
Good evening, Drossa. Even though I'm not supposed to be here.
Good evening, Levi.
It honestly sounds like they know each other, making the past scenes feel relevant. And on top of that, I love the fact that he brings flowers. Almost out of place for today's standards, but it really fits in. This is a good scene too. Most of the obvious things happen. Of course, they're in love. He's apparently writing a poem about her because he does that. And given it's now the halfway point, even the most inconceivable, predictable outcome is gonna find a way to get them both in the gorge. Just so you know, you've officially fucked up the mission. By leaving your post, you failed to identify the like button, it's located right down below, and the subscribe button has also been neglected. Meaning you will most likely not see the gaming channel or similar content with games, despite the link being directly in the description. So now we have to ask, is this development, is the long wait to get to this point really worth it? Well, kinda. If you take out the pointless exposition, which isn't that much, most of what we've seen is pretty enjoyable. Again, not a fan of Levi, but wasn't having a whole lot of issues. Problem is, most of what's coming isn't that good. It's not a complete failure, I'll get to why in a minute, but with no character building left, them being essentially devoted at this point, it does kind of feel like a different movie. Yeah, we did see the monsters once that did help, but pretty much everything inside the gorge basically feels separate. Maybe if they weren't in love just yet, if you didn't literally dive in after him, it would have worked a bit better, but aside from the plot that I really don't care about, I don't feel that invested. There had to be some development left, allow the situation to bring them together opposed to loneliness. Don't get me wrong, that part of the movie does work, but it doesn't work with this. Have them communicate, spend some time bonding, but save something for the thing in the title. Because literally, the first thing said is this.
You came for me.
Why did you have to say you came for me? By the time we see the gorge, well, and not a lot to see. That is, story-wise, but if you put this environment into a better written movie, it'd be pretty damn cool. Spiders, a horseman, fucking root monsters, I guess? It's kind of insane how crazy this gets out of nowhere. Sure, no monster is that memorable in its own right, but the combination is. I like how the spiders just attack one of them, and the way the environment changes gives it a unique vibe. Does this look safe? Obviously, this sounds cool. Making a hole! But it's not really needed, and neither is most of this. It may look good and even be kind of fun, but I can't shake the sense of just not giving a shit. Especially when more stuff gets explained. Finding out everything's cross-mutated, no shit. The Hollow Men are missing soldiers from decades ago, who would have guessed? And the source of the mutation is a World War II bioweapon research lab that was abandoned after an earthquake caused by a containment leak. Are you intrigued yet? Anyway, Dark Lake, the private defense corporation, is extracting hybrid samples in hopes of creating super soldiers, and they discover the failsafe to sterilize the site with a nuclear explosion. If you don't know the ending by now, you don't know much, so on to something fun. Horseman guy comes back for a bit of time wasting. Just realize Anya takes a beating in this. But it all works out, we have a very easy boss kill. The way they climb out is pretty cool, but I don't think intentionally blowing up the Jeep when they're still in it would be a good idea. Not only does the gorge section feel beyond tacked on, but it only counts for about 1/4 of the movie. We have around a half hour to go, and do we really care about any of it? They might be infected from breathing in the air, but probably not. Spoiler, they're not. Learning what expendable means, yeah, we know that movie. Don't know why they make it so obvious. I don't know. But Sigourney Weaver, who, again, is in this, knows that they know the truth and plans to eliminate them. It's a good thing they have nobody to miss them. What a coincidence. Even if the whole movie was great, the ending is still nothing special. In fact, it's mediocre. Maybe that's unfair, or more so rushed. They outgun the drones, take out the cloaking antennas, trigger the aforementioned detonation. Sigourney Weaver is no longer in this, and they separate to complete the quarantine. However, upon reaching the rendezvous point, he isn't there. But he left the completed poem, so I guess sad ending. But no, he was just delayed by his injury and kind of a half-assed line to end on.
I had to get back to you.
Did they just not care? Was there no second take allowed? Well, anyway, that was The Gorge, and it's definitely something. You may still be confused, and I wouldn't blame you, as this may be one of those few times I'd recommend a movie upon speaking this negatively. It's really split into 4 pieces, the first part being exposition, completely unmemorable, second part being them communicating, the way they bond, easily the highlight, third part is not that great or interesting, but still memorable to look at, some effort was put in, and the final part is absolute garbage that you want to end. Obviously not a great ratio, but it's still an intriguing film. I love a lot of the ideas at play, mainly the way they communicate. Anya is clearly a lot better, while Miles is kind of dull, but I enjoyed enough of it to keep me watching. Same can be said for the unique monster design and the Gorge aesthetics, but the rest is utterly forgettable. The plot doesn't even try to make you care, they do everything they can to make sure you know what's gonna happen, and it's nothing remotely new. Then you have the pacing issue, some more stuff should have happened inside the Gorge, but like I said, it feels like 2 movies. One being a somewhat unique love story, and the other a generic sci-fi with some memorable aesthetics. Unfortunately, it's bookended by bad exposition and an uneventful conclusion, so I still can't call it a good movie. That being said, it is entertaining and does enough stuff right that I'm glad I decided to watch it. It tried really hard and still kinda failed, but not a complete failure, I guess. But I am the analyst, and remember kids, nobody cares if you're missed.